Our next speaker is Lois Gilden. Lois was Vice President of Client Services for a medical software company before semi-retiring into a position as Administrative Associate for Beth Israel Deaconess Leahy Medical Center in Boston. Originally from Chicago, she has lived in Sharon, Massachusetts for 36 years. She earned her UWW degree with a concentration in writing and literary studies. She has set her sights on a master's in fine arts and creative writing. Today, her husband of 39 years and 2 of her 3 children join her here. And get this, dedication to education again, all 8 grandchildren and her foster child could not attend because they are finishing up their own college semesters.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished faculty, staff, administrators, friends and family, and the University of Massachusetts Amherst University Without Walls class of 2019. I am here today to congratulate you on this, our graduation day. Sheer determination is why we're here today. Sheer determination to go to school while our lives are whirling around us. Sheer determination to take the classes that we want to take online while we're working, raising our children, starting businesses. Sheer determination to finish the college education that many of us started a long, long time ago. For me, my start toward a college education was so long ago that American Express had not even invented the plastic credit card. We rode in cars without seatbelts. How did we live? You know? We skated on the sidewalk with roller skates that needed a little key to tighten them onto our shoes, tighten the clips onto our shoes. And if we wanted to get someplace really fast, we hitchhiked. At least in Chicago we did. But we had never, ever heard or even thought of the invention of a computer that would sit on our desks and help us gain our degrees. It was not even in our imagination at that time. Slurpees had not been invented, and neither had buffalo wings. We were making it through each day without Post-it notes to write things down and to remind ourselves, and we had not even thought of handheld calculators to help us through our math problems. In the early 1960s and in the 50s, when I was in school, many girls went to school to get a husband. Now, I'm here to tell you today that my father thought that I should go to college for just a few years for that very reason. But what my father did not know is that once I got to school, the seeds of the joy of learning were planted so deeply in my heart that I never lost the hunger to learn. Sheer determination, that's what it was. It was sheer determination. Each of you has a story. Each of you has a special reason for why you chose to attend UMass Amherst, University Without Walls. Each one of you, each graduate has chosen to be part of this progressive and historic academic program because of the access and the support and the high quality education it's affording for all of us online. UWW has then respected our wisdom and our experience and has made it possible for us to integrate all of that with our learning into our active lives as mothers and fathers and caregivers, as employers and workers and dreamers. Many people go through the world each day without knowing the stories of the people around them. And we've had other folks speak a couple of minutes ago about stories. Stories are so important. We, as graduates, have learned stories through Blackboard. Blackboard is a place where we've learned about each other because our stories come out in how we study, how we learn, and how we write. And so I know that each one of you has a unique story, and it defines you, and it explains why you're here and why you're so determined to succeed. I will not forget the stories of my classmates. I have read the details of the daily lives of students who have been homeless and those who have conquered addiction. I've read of students who experienced chronic illness and financial struggles and violence. These are the students who most amazed and inspired me to keep on going. It's that determination to go back to school. This audience is full of people with stories of hardship and struggle. Oh yes, your stories are all different, and we all come from different backgrounds and different families, but there is one thing that we all share, and that is our determination. And that is the determination to finish what we started and to enrich our professional lives and our families and our own personal stories. Now, I have a lot of stories in my life. That's mostly because I'm so old. When in 77 years, one does gather many stories. Am I right? That's right, I am 77 years old, and I will be 78 in 5 weeks. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But what is? For those of you who recently took the R1 math exemption test, I don't know if there's anybody here who took it 2 weeks ago. I thought I was going to die in that class. But since I studied so hard for that class and passed, I choose to think of myself as 77% of a century. Now, an event that stands out among all the rest in my stories is the day I found myself in a box. It was 45 inches wide, 45 inches long, and 45 inches high. It was a cube, you know. And it had a detachable lid, it was covered in gold foil, and it sat on the floor of my daughter's classroom. I sat in the box. And I was in there, crowded in with 2 big red balloons, because, like many parents, I wanted to help my child. And when my daughter asked me to help create a surprise for her 16th birthday for her classroom, I thought jumping out of a box, dressed like the Cookie Monster, was a great idea. So as I sat in the box, and the sweat dripped down my forehead, I thought to myself, I am 52 years old. I am dressed like the Cookie Monster, and I'm sitting in a box. What am I doing with my life? Now, it would be a better story if I could tell you that I had an epiphany at that moment and said, I'm going right back to college. But I didn't, I can't really tell that. But what I can say is at that moment, I began to take serious stock of my life and what I was doing. I began to realize that what I was doing is putting my educational goals on a back seat to my crazy daily life. At that moment, I had a need to know more. I wanted to grow intellectually. and I wanted to finish what I had started. When I popped out of that box and said, "Hello, everybody," I looked and sounded like the Cookie Monster, but inside that costume was a spark of determination. I had resolved to do something lasting for myself. Learning is personal. Learning is fulfilling. Learning is lasting. And it takes grit and strength of character. So today, we are earning our bachelor's degree from a top-ranked public university, one of the rewards for our countless hours of very hard work. Today, my fellow graduates, you are showing your friends and families what happens when you possess sheer determination. Thank you, and congratulations to the UMass Amherst University Without Walls class of 2019.